So in this chapter, I think the author's main message was again just a brief overview of influenza and how it's affected people since science really began to understand what it was, and it kind of helped me understand just how it could have been, and a lot of other diseases could have been around for a lot longer. I think the first uh, time that somebody really started differentiating influenza from other diseases was like in the mid 1800s. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that's when influenza became an issue. Like it could have been an issue for several hundred years previous to that. It's just that science wasn't able to uh, classify it. And so that was something I found interesting. It kind of made me think about just the lack of human understanding back then and how hard it must have been to see all these people dying and just have like one name of like a general disease that people died of, which wasn't helpful when it came to curing. So it seemed to me like a hopeless time to live in terms of uh, contracting these diseases and stuff. Um, I learned quite a bit about influenza in this chapter. I didn't realize there were so many different varieties of influenza. I didn't realize that there were so many animals that we currently live amongst that harbor influenza. I like one of the notes in the note thing that we got was that like 100,000 birds in Missouri just this year, just this month, got we had to get rid of them because they had one of the types of influenza. So, needless to say, it's still an issue. Thankfully, we have science and it's improving and it's trying to stay on the front line of this disease, which is wonderful and much appreciated. And that's another thing that I found interesting too was that some of the larger waves of influenza happened during World War One. So that had to have been again just another terrible time in history to be alive in general. I mean, a world war is enough to live through, but then add a bunch of humans in close contact sharing this disease back and forth on a battlefield. That just sounds awful. Um, yeah, and the last little thing I found interesting was that you can actually grow influenza in an egg. I had never heard of that. So there's some scientists out there doing that, and hopefully they're doing good work with it. So no biological warfare or anything like that. But yeah, influenza.